Putt. I'm so excited.
Putt Putt Goes to the Moon. Cute little kids game, right? But let me tell ya, if you actually looked at the clues sprinkled throughout the game, you could figure out the exact year this talking car blasted off on his grand adventure. Now, in order to prove that, we need to talk about AI, constellations, artificial evolution, even a glimpse at humanity's future. Yeah, I know it's way too much effort for a game about a talking purple car.
Hi, Mr. Firebird.
Welcome, Putt Putt!
But trust me, you're gonna want to see where this goes. Alright, quick refresher for those who have never played this game before. Putt Putt Goes to the Moon came out in 1993, made by Humongous Entertainment, the same geniuses behind Pajama Sam and Freddy Fish. These were marketed as educational games for toddlers, which basically meant point, you click, and you hope something funny happened.
Peekaboo.
Putt Putt's whole deal is simple. You hover your cursor over something, and if it lights up, you click it. Sometimes it's useful.
It says Fireworks Factory.
Oh, hey, wow, didn't know that.
And sometimes it's just an animation of the sun being a little bit zesty. It's part game, part digital toy box. The world is a clam, and you get to open it up and digest all its goodness. Now, in this particular adventure, things escalate fast. You and your dog Pep take a trip to the local fireworks factory. A couple of clicks later,
Buckle your seatbelt, Putt Putt! You're going for a ride!
and you've somehow launched yourself into outer space. But stop worrying though. Stop it.
Stop it.
Get some help.
In this game, space travel is basically just another Tuesday. Hey boss man, I heard there's a lunar storm approaching on Tuesday, so do we still have to go to work? We do. Aww. You'll see animals strolling around, aliens of all types, just vibing near the b-ball court. Like, it's the hottest tourist spot in the galaxy, honestly. But here's the thing. None of this helps us answer the question at hand. When exactly does this happen? To solve that, we're introducing what I'll call the Lunar Impact Timeline. Every time we uncover evidence from the game, we'll slide this timeline closer and closer to the exact year Putt Putt went to the moon. So let's start at the beginning. The fireworks incident. The story kicks off with this cheerful little tune and Putt Putt rolling in with his dog Pep. Seems harmless, but actually this scene already tells us a lot about the timeline. First off, Earth exists. Not only that, we have trees, grass, butterflies, even domesticated dogs. That alone wipes out billions of years from the possible timeline. Dogs were domesticated around 15 to 30,000 years ago, and the sun won't swallow Earth until about roughly 5 billion years from now. And with that, we just eliminated almost the entire history of the universe with one cutscene. But let's get specific. Putt Putt is a car. Automobiles didn't exist until Carl Benz rolled out the first one in 1888. That narrows us down to the modern era right away. And if you look closely, Putt Putt doesn't just resemble any car. He looks suspiciously like a 1992 Chevy Corvette convertible.
Corvette.
Why? Well, Putt Putt as a character was created in 1992 by Shelley Day. Side note, don't look up her Wikipedia page. When I tell you it shocked me, it shocked me. It makes sense she'd base him on one of the most popular convertibles at the time. And yes, you could buy it in deep purple. So right there, our earliest possible date for the lunar impact is now 1992. But we're not stopping there. Putt Putt talks, he thinks, he makes decisions.
Pep! You want to play hide and seek? Okay, here I come.
He's basically an autonomous AI car with full independence. Sounds crazy? Well, maybe not. According to projections, self-driving cars could reach quote-unquote level 5 autonomy by around 2035. That's full independence, no steering wheel, no human required.
just the right height. No bucket is required.
So let's nudge our timeline forward. Here's where it gets dark. Look around and Putt Putt Goes to the moon. Do you see any humans? Gas station attendant? That one neighbor that's mowing the lawn? Nope, not a single one. This entire society is just cars, which raises the obvious question, where are all the people? The only logical answer, they're gone. Wiped out, and honestly, that doesn't even sound far-fetched anymore. If AI gets advanced enough to self-replicate, why would it need us? Imagine the factories that are being run entirely by AI, cranking out more AI, an endless loop. That's how you end up with Cartown, a city populated only by intelligent, self-aware vehicles. At this point, I should clarify, we have no choice but to ignore certain aspects of the game, like the sun having a face. That's just visual flair in our opinion. At some point, we have to separate the aesthetics from the actual evidence. Anyway, back to the story. Putt Putt and Pep visit the local fireworks factory. They poke around, flip some switches, let a butterfly in, and Pep pulls the lever. Suddenly, they're strapped to a rocket blasting straight into space. And not just into orbit, straight to the moon. Really think about that. A small town fireworks factory somehow has the power to launch what is essentially a 1992 Corvette all the way to the lunar surface. With current rocketry, that's impossible, unless antimatter. Alright, hear me out. Scientists have said the tech for antimatter engines isn't the problem. It's the funding itself. So, in a world without money, controlled by AI overlords obsessed with expansion, antimatter rockets could absolutely be a thing. Cute packaging on the outside, doomsday fuel on the inside. That "do not touch" sign on the lever suddenly makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it? So let's update the slider. We've gone from 1992 to 2035 with autonomous cars, and now, factoring in antimatter propulsion, we're looking at the year 2050 as the earliest possible date for the lunar impact. So, Putt Putt and Pep are blasting through space, and right away we spot something weird. A friendly alien just chilling next to a cosmic road sign. Not a space beacon, not a transmission, literal wooden road signs floating in space, pointing to the planets in our solar system. And when you click them, they speak perfect English.
The Earth's moon, 400,000 kilometers away.
How is this possible? Is English really the universal language and not the power of mathematics?
Nerd alert!
It's actually an easy explanation. Universal translators. If you played Mass Effect before, you've seen this in action. And believe it or not, the tech already exists today, just in a very primitive form. By 2050, it's not crazy to imagine AI could refine translators so advanced they work with alien species. But here's the problem. That assumes the AI overlords had time to travel the stars, meet the aliens, and integrate them into their society. That's not a quick weekend project. That's decades, maybe even centuries. So we're calling it 2100 at the earliest. Once Putt Putt finally lands on the moon, two things really stand out. One, that landing was way too smooth. You don't just drop a car on the lunar surface like you're parking at Walmart on your way to grab the family-sized bag of Doritos that you hope nobody notices, but they do. They do notice. That means the moon has been terraformed. Air, gravity, maybe even a shield against radiation. 2, Pep the dog is just running around. No suit, no helmet, no problem. Clearly, this rock has been modified into a livable environment, maybe to make it friendlier for tourists or aliens. And terraforming the moon? That's not a 5-year plan at all. That's at least another century of progress. So, let's move our slider 2200 AD. Then we meet Rover, the lunar rover.
What's wrong, little buddy? Can you get me out of this mess?
At first glance, you'd think this breaks the theory. Wait, a relic of humanity? Doesn't that mean humans are still around? Wrong! What it actually means is that AI scavenged our old tech. They found Rover, patched him up, and gave him intelligence. His quote-unquote memories of being left behind, that's just data AI stitched together from human records. I think that checks out perfectly in my opinion. From here, the plot of Putt Putt Goes to the Moon is pretty basic. You collect rocket parts, you help aliens, you win over the mayor. Classic humongous entertainment structure. But buried in the silliness are 3 key clues that push our timeline further. They're the mouse family, the moon crystals, and the observatory. For now, let's start with the tourists.
Do you know the way back to Earth?
No, we just got here. We're from Kansas.
A whole family of mice snapping pictures on the moon like it's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Why mice? Because they've been the test subjects all along. After humanity's extinction, AI needed biological life to test terraforming and alien integration. Enter the lab mouse. Over centuries, they've been uplifted into sentient, adventurous creatures. Imagine Stuart Little got himself a lunar passport and modded his car for flight. He probably hired George Shrinks as his mechanic. Now, could AI uplift animals in just one generation? Sure, maybe, but to create entire family lines, like passing intelligence down through offspring, that's a project spanning centuries. We're currently in 2200 AD territory though, so it's plausible that this was done concurrently with the terraforming. So we won't adjust the slider just yet. Well, next we should talk about the moon crystals.
1, 2, 3.
4.
Putt Putt has to collect 10 of them to buy the rocket back from some alien. Is that a family? Is that a couple? Is it siblings? If one of them nods and the other shakes their head, does that cause a factory reset? These glowing green rocks scream radioactive ore, but here's the thing, they might not even be lunar in origin. They could be intergalactic currency used across multiple species. Whether they're mined locally or traded galaxy-wide, it doesn't really move the timeline. Both scenarios easily fit into our 2200 AD era setting. But the real game changer here is the observatory.
Cassiopeia the Queen. She's beautiful.
Putt Putt can look through the telescope and see constellations exactly as we know them today. And this is huge. Stars don't stay fixed forever in the night sky. They drift. After 10,000 years, the constellations we recognize today would be unrecognizable. That means our timeline cannot stretch beyond the year 12,025. Boom, we've just carved out an upper limit. So, to recap, by 2200 AD, AI has terraformed the moon, uplifted mice, and started cozying up with the alien civilizations. By the year 12,025, the constellations will shift too far for the sky to match, which means the lunar impact happened somewhere in that window. I can hear you saying it right now.
Actually, that's way too broad to call this proof.
Hey you Pikachu. How about you shut up? I'm not done yet. Look at the world Putt Putt lives in. It's advanced, but it's not that advanced. Rockets still resemble human tech. Housing still looks vaguely like ours. They even have Mayor Clankerbottom instead of a hive mind government that AI would obviously aim towards. We can once again look at the Geth in Mass Effect. Antimatter propulsion is there, but we don't see any signs of wormholes. It's futuristic, but it's still wearing humanity's fingerprints. That suggests to me that we're much closer to the year 2200 AD than 12,025 AD. In fact, if we compare it to another sci-fi timeline, we can make an even stronger case. I don't know, Futurama? Futurama is set in the year 3000, and their moon base is just an amusement park. It's still primitive, it's still reliant on spacesuits, it's way less advanced than what we see in Putt Putt. So logically, Putt Putt's lunar society must sit somewhere between the year 3000 and 3200 AD, which brings us to the finale. Here is our final argument. By 2035, artificial intelligence drives our cars. Within decades, it drives everything. Factories churn out AI machines, multiplying like the Geth in Mass Effect. Humanity falls, leaving Earth to its conquerors. Unchecked, AI explodes in number and in genius. They master antimatter propulsion, uplift lab mice into astronauts, and terraform the moon. By 2200, they formed alliances with alien civilizations, built a universal translator, and begun exploring the universe. Earth itself becomes a relic. 1,000 years pass. The year is 3200 AD. The moon is no longer a colony, but an alien-governed hub of tourism and trade. Earth is home only to echoes of its checkered past. Talking cars, modeled after forgotten machines, left behind as artifacts of a vanished people. Among them is Putt Putt, a cheerful relic styled after a 1992 Chevy Corvette. One day, he stumbles into a fireworks factory, sets off an antimatter rocket, and blasts himself to the moon. And there, in a cosmos shaped by AI and aliens, this little car discovers something greater than technology: the power of doing good deeds.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
We'll see you on the next one. Make sure to like, comment,
and subscribe.
what he said.
Just leave. Just leave.